What is so special about football?
It's the best game in the world. It's competitive, it keeps you fit, it's just, it's hard to explain really, but it's so, the passion of football is fantastic. Once you get involved with a football team, you realise locally or even with a larger team, bigger team, you realise the commitment the players and the management and the fans put into it.
Eric, what do you think is so special about football?
As it's just been said, it's a special sport for me. I guess it's the one sport that gets into my blood. You can become a part in so many different ways, but just supporting the team, it's almost like a religion. I would suggest it's as near to that. I'm not a religious person, but I would think it's as near as it comes.
David, what was your most memorable match and why?
That's a difficult question, that one. It really is. With this team, the new Enfield, or the Enfield team now, Enfield Town, was obviously a playoff final last season. It was a penalty shootout against Grays, and Nolan saved the penalty, and we had 10 men for all of extra time because one of our players was injured, wasn't it? It was Jordan got injured, and it was just a phenomenal feeling.
How did you overcome losing?
How do you overcome losing?
Yeah.
It's not life and death. That's the good thing about it, you know. It's at this level, the important thing is the game. If you lose, you lose. You win, you win. You don't take it too seriously.
Eric, have you always supported the same team?
Original Enfield FC. I started supporting them in about 1960 when I was about 6, and then came. As most of the fans did, I joined Enfield Town when we formed the club in 2001.
Do you enjoy watching any other team?
I find it difficult watching other teams now. I guess I'm so engrossed in Enfield Town. I do watch other games. I enjoy football for the sake of the football, but I can't really get passionate about any other teams now, no.
How did you travel to games?
Various methods. Sometimes we go by train, sometimes we have a minibus, sometimes by car. It depends where the game is and when it is.
David, who did you go with?
Who do I go with?
Yeah.
I'll go with John Hollis and Roger Green, who you've spoken to earlier on.
David, what does football mean to you in 3 words?
3 words. That's a difficult one, isn't it? 3 words. The greatest game.
How would you describe football?
It's my life.
What made you support Enfield Town?
Is that to Eric or
I'm David.
Oh, it's a local team. Living in Enfield all my life, supporting Enfield all my life. It's the obvious choice, really.
Eric, what about you?
Well, I was with the old club. I was just an ordinary supporter. I'd turn up an hour before the game, have a beer, watch the game, have a beer and go home. And then we lost the club, as the story is well known now. And I was in at the beginning, helped found the club. And I guess if you like, a shareholder owner of the club, you had to take it on board that there wasn't someone signing the cheques. All the jobs had to be done by volunteers. So now I work on the pitch, I do maintenance around the ground, I'm on the social committee that raises money through the bar and everything for the club. So really, actually, not an owner in the way that you're able to put lots of money in, but put a lot of time and effort into trying to make the club bigger and go forward in the future.
David, have you ever had a football player that has really inspired you?
The old Enfield team, I think the previous team, not this one, we had some fantastic players. John Connell, Laurie Churchill, Alf Darcy, John Payne. Some of them unfortunately are dead at the moment, unfortunately. A lot of the guys come here now. They're a reunion, and they're a lot older now, obviously. But they're the sort of players that inspired me.
Eric, who are Enfield Town's biggest rivals?
Biggest rivals? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
God,
difficult. With the old club, it used to be Barnet, but now we play in a very different level to them. I
Different
guess,
way.
yeah. Probably locally. Certainly, Waltham Abbey don't seem to like us, and the feeling's fairly mutual. So I guess we now play a league above them, but I guess they're our nearest local rivals.
Have you always lived in Enfield Town, Eric?
I've always lived in Enfield, various parts of Enfield, yeah.
How did you first fall in love with football?
It was just meant to be. I think I was brought down here with my dad, not here, the previous club, when I was about 5 years old. And I think Eric will agree with me. Once it gets to you, it gets to you. You can't. It's something you can't explain. And Eric said before, it's in your blood. I think that's what it is. If you're brought somewhere really early in your life, and you really enjoy it, and be successful as well, because the team were fantastic, weren't they? You know, the old Enfield team. It inspires you.
What about you, Eric?
I think my dad loved football. He ran his own Sunday morning side, and I was involved with that. I played at school, and when I left school I played Sunday morning football. So it's always been there, it's always been part of my life. That's it, really.
David, what is the biggest win that you've been at the game with Enfield Town?
The biggest win was the playoff final against Grays, end of last season.
What was Enfield Town's biggest defeat?
Biggest defeat? Oh, I can't.
Actual score-wise, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
So probably most disappointing would be the previous playoff finals, I would think, the semi-finals.
Yeah, the biggest. I mean, we lost 6-0 at White this season, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest defeat recently, which was over Christmas time.
Eric, have you ever dreamed of playing for Enfield Football Club?
Yeah, for the old club. I'm afraid I was too old by the time we formed the new club. But yeah, I'd certainly love to have played for the old club. But I had the one basic problem, a total lack of ability. So it wasn't to be.
What about you, David?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I played as Eric. I played Sunday morning football, but weren't quite good enough to get to the standard of Enfield. At a Sunday morning level, it's a bit lower than the standard we are now, you know.
How did you feel about leaving the old football stadium?
Oh, very sad. It was very sad. It was when you pass by now and see what's there, it's a crime really, because there's a lot of politics involved, as Eric knows. But it's a real shame when you go there and see a housing estate on where the old ground was. But this is a fantastic arena, so we're lucky.
Do you remember any of the players' celebrations? Like a really popular celebration that one of the players used to do?
Yeah, well, Kirby's got some good ones, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah.
When we played Wingate and Finchley this season away, and we won 2-1. And Mark Kirby was getting some stick from the visiting supporters. They were calling him Fatso and Tubby and things like this, you know. And he scored a goal. He scored the winning goal, yeah. And as he ran past the supporters coming back, he went like this. And they were very quiet after that.
Do you remember celebrating any of the winning games after the match?
Well, we ourselves,
Yeah.
I mean ourselves, yeah, we get quite involved in the celebration, don't we? You know, and it's to see a team score and win is a fantastic thing. You know, just emotion comes out.
Eric, how would you describe the atmosphere at Enfield Football Club?
The atmosphere, I think, is very good. I mean, it is a big stadium, but you still get on a match day, you still get quite a good atmosphere around the ground, behind the goals, especially if you get some travelling fans, so you get sort of a few fans singing behind each goal. It's just a really enjoyable environment to come into. I'm a steward on match day, the ground stewarded. It's a safe environment, and I'd recommend anyone to come along and on a Saturday and watch the game.
How much do you think the club has changed, David?
The new club, as you get more successful, obviously you change. You get better players come in, but I think the atmosphere is still the same. It's a double-edged sword in a way, because if you're not doing so well, maybe you don't get the crowd to come in. But if you're doing, like last season, I think we got a better crowd towards the end of the season because we were going for the promotion. This season, because we've struggled a bit, the crowds haven't. There's been a mean average, really. Where at the end of last season we had 800 over here, was it, Eric? I think for a couple of the games, and that's a fantastic crowd for a club like this.
Eric, do you remember what was the best goal you've ever seen from an Enfield Football Club player?
Dear, there's so many at with the old club and the new club. I guess you tend to remember goals that won cups. Certainly the penalties in the playoff semi-final last year were absolutely that was unbelievable. Last season it was a nearly goal, really. Who's the young winger? Tyler Campbell.
Tyler, yeah.
He tried to lob the keeper from about 40 yards and it hit the bar. That would have been goal of the season and probably the best goal I've ever seen if that had gone in. But there's too many over too many years to pick one out of. But certainly most seasons produce one or two very special goals, and as I've been watching it for 40 years, you're probably talking 60 to 80 best goals. So.
Eric, what's your memories of Southbury Road?
Wonderful stadium, wonderful atmosphere, many great games. Obviously went there for many years, grew up there, helped build the terracing and worked on the pitch. It was Roy Butler, one of the directors in them days, who really got me started working on the pitch and the ground. And I'll thank him for that. He's now passed on, but can't thank him enough, because the knowledge that he gave me has helped now with Enfield Town.
Dave, what about your memories of Southbury Road?
Very similar, actually. It's unique stadium. It was, as I said earlier, we were there. I was went there from about 5 years old and was brought up watching Enfield. Used to walk to the ground from home, and so many wonderful memories, so many wonderful players, fantastic games. We had a good team most of the time. That helped, you know.
What do you remember about going to the away matches? Is there any particular ground where you liked going to, where there's a good atmosphere?
Again, there's many of them. Wembley was good because it meant you were going to a final, which we did on a number of occasions. Always used to like going to our friends up at Barnet, usual banter with them up there. Most of the big ground, going back, certainly Walthamstow Avenue's old ground was very similar to Southbury Road. The stand there was almost identical to the Southbury stand, and we had many tussles there with them. Dagenham, our old friends down at Dagenham, who are now in the Football League, we had many games with them.
Dave, any particular favourites of yours?
Much the same, really. Wembley was a fantastic. Obviously, as Eric said, you'd be at a final there, obviously, and hopefully win something. I think I used to like going to Hitchin and places like that. They're grounds similar to ours. Walthamstow, Leytonstone, in the old days. I don't know about now. There's some pretty poor grounds around now, I think, at this level. But other than the sort of the big grounds, yeah.